This video is about factors and multiples and identifying whether one number is a factor of another or whether one number is a multiple of another. Let's take a look at the first question. Is 8 a factor of 12? Now, what do we mean by factor? Well, factors of a number go into that number without leaving you with a remainder. So the question here is, does 8 go into 12 without leaving you with a remainder? And the answer is no. 8 does not go exactly into 12 because 1/8 goes into 12 with 4 left over. Now, just to be extra clear, I'm going to list out all of the factors of 12, so hopefully you get a better understanding of what factors really are. The factors of 12 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. If you take any of these numbers, you'll find that they go into 12 exactly, and they don't leave you with a remainder. Moving on to part B, is 8 a factor of 24? So in other words, does 8 go into 24 without leaving a remainder? And the answer is yes, 8 goes into 24 exactly 3 times. Again, for clarity, I will list out all of the factors of 24. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, and 24. All of those numbers go into 24 exactly without leaving a remainder. And you'll notice that the 8 is in this list, so 8 is a factor of 24. For part C, we're now asking if 24 is a factor of 8. Well, does 24 go into 8? No, it doesn't, so it's not a factor. The factors of 8 are, remember, all the numbers that go into 8 without leaving a remainder. So 1 goes into 8, 2 goes into 8, 3 doesn't, but 4 goes into 8, goes in twice. 5 doesn't go into 8, 6 doesn't, 7 doesn't, but 8 goes into itself exactly once. Now, just notice in all of these examples, we've got the number 1 in our lists of factors. That's because 1 goes into every single positive whole number without leaving a remainder. So 1 is always going to be a factor of a number. Also notice that each number is a factor of itself. So 12 goes into itself once. 24 goes into itself once. 8 goes into itself once. Let's move on to the next question. D. Is 24 a multiple of 8? Now, the multiples of 8 are simply all of the numbers in the 8 times table. So let's just think about this. The multiples of 8 are 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, and so on. These are simply 8 times 1, 8 times 2, 8 times 3, 8 times 4, 8 times 5, and so on. We can never list out all of the multiples of 8 because they go on forever. So that's an important difference. We could list out all of the factors of a number, like we did in the first 3 examples, but we can never list out all of the multiples of a number because any numbers times table just goes on forever. Anyway, is 24 a multiple of 8? Yes, it's in the 8 times table. 3 lots of 8 gives us 24. So 24 is a multiple of 8. Just compare C and D. 24 is not a factor of 8, but it is a multiple of 8. Also compare B and D. 8 is a factor of 24. That means 8 goes into 24. And that also means that 24 is a multiple of 8, as we see in question D. In part E, we're asking if 8 is a multiple of 24. Now, that's the same as asking if 8 is in the 24 times table. And the answer is no. Let's just look at the multiples of 24. We've got one lot of 24, or 1 times 24, which is 24. 2 times 24 would be 48. 3 times 24 would be 72, 4 times 24 would be 96, 5 times 24 would be 120, and this list would go on forever. So the multiples of 24 start at 24 and then just get bigger and bigger and bigger. So 8 is not a multiple of 24. The smallest multiple of 24 is just 24 itself. Notice something similar with the previous example. The smallest multiple of 8 is just 8 itself. In question F, we're asking if 8 is a multiple of 8. Is 8 in the 8 times table? Yes, it is. It's right here, looking at this list that we've already made. 8 is a multiple of 8 because it's in the 8 times table. So our answer is yes. In question G, we're asking if 17 is a factor of 17. And remember what we said, every number is a factor of itself, at least when we're talking about whole numbers. So the answer is yes. In fact, if we list out all of the factors of 17, we'll find that it only has 2 factors. But those factors are 1 and 17. 1 and the number itself. Now, a number that has exactly 2 factors, like 17, has a special name. It's called a prime number. And prime numbers are really important, as you will see in the later videos. Finally, we're on part H. Is 91 a multiple of 7? Well, you could try listing out the 7 times table until you get to 91, or you get past it without actually reaching 91 exactly. But that's a lot of work. If you just list out the first few, you see we get 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, and maybe you don't want to go to the trouble of listing out all of these multiples. So what you can do instead is check to see if 7 is a factor of 91. If 7 is a factor of 91, that will mean 91 is a multiple of 7. So how can we test to see whether 7 is a factor of 91? Well, I can work out 91 divided by 7, either using a calculator or by a written method. 7 goes into 91 exactly 13 times with no remainder. That means 7 is a factor of 91, and that means that 91 is a multiple of 7.